Well, in this video we're going to be setting up this air pruning bed. You can see the construction of it is all 2x4s. They're not treated. The bottom layer of 2x4s is the support for the 1/2-inch welded wire. That's the base of this thing. And then we've got 3 2x4s stacked up for the height for the soil. We also made a top out of the same sort of construction, only I ripped 2x4s long ways for the for the frame of the thing, and then these blocks in the corner were just scraps left over, and we put these blocks in the corners just to reinforce the frame. We're trying to keep that as light as possible, and also, it only took half as many 2x4s to do it then, so saving cost a little bit. I used some J clips to attach the overlapping hardware cloth here, and this is 2 feet tall. The overall size of the bed is 4 by 8, and I didn't calculate how much dirt it would take to fill this thing, but what I'm going to use to fill it, firstly I'm going to put down a layer of straw, sort of a, I don't know if a heavy layer, probably be best along the bottom, to just try to keep the soil from working through that 1/2-inch hardware cloth too much. I think the hardware cloth would do a sufficient job if I had sort of a clay mix, which I don't want for separating my plants out later. I want to use sort of a loose mix, and that's what I've done here. So I used this is a 3-part mixture. If you get right down in on it, you can see there's some compost, that's the darker stuff. I mixed some sand in with some screened topsoil or shredded topsoil that we had left over. Topsoil and sand were left over from another project, and then actually I got all 3 things from Dad. He mixes up compost with the old horse manure, so that's the base of the compost is old horse manure. Then he had some sand left over with shredded topsoil. I just used all 3 of those things. That should make a real nice, very fertile, loose mix to separate the plants out later. And with that being so loose, I thought the straw would be a good idea on the bottom. You could use landscape cloth or something like that. Landscape cloth might be a little easier. I have the straw on hand, and I thought, we'll just do straw. So I'm going to go ahead and break this bale open. It's going to take me 2 hands to do that. Break the bale open, lay the straw out in there. I'll show you what that looks like. Well, you can see how much of that chaff fell through. Might have put that in there a little heavier than need be, but we'll see how it should compact pretty well. It's either this, or a guy could go with maybe 1/4-inch hardware cloth along the bottom. I picked the 1/2-inch because the 1/2-inch is made of a heavier gauge of wire. When you step down to the 1/4-inch, it's a smaller diameter of wire, and I was a little bit nervous about that in the attaching that wire. I wanted a little heavier gauge for all the staples to get purchase more. I was afraid if I stapled down that smaller gauge wire that wire actually might break. So that's why I went with the 1/2-inch. Unfortunately, it's a little larger hole, but we'll make do with this. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of gently try to, rather than trying to shovel that in there, I'm just going to try to gently sort of dump it in here, and we'll see how that works out. grabbed a little baby garden shovel there and just spread that first scoop out just to sort of see what it looked like after it was all spread around. I definitely won't need 2 full scoops altogether, but man, I really like the height of this thing. I think we built these. I think we built this to be 36 inches off the ground, and that is the perfect height for reaching. You know, me, I'm average. I would say average size. I'm you know, about 5'9", 5'10", something like that, and I can just about reach all the way across there. So reaching halfway out is no problem. So I think this is going to work out real good. I'm gonna go get another scoop, and we'll get this thing filled up. Kind of bumped my top there. Didn't mean to do that, but spread this stuff out. Break up some of these clumps, or throw some of these clumps out maybe. That's a clump of compost. I kind of hate to throw that out. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this up, smooth it out, and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, I think that's going to do it on putting this thing together. You can see I'm a little bit low on my soil. I could put a little bit more in there now, but I think I'll probably wait till spring to do that. It is, I think today is November 4th, and what I really wanted to do was I just wanted to get this thing partially filled. I think just from maybe here over, I'm going to put a divider in. I'm going to go get a piece of wood and just lay it up here, and so that'll, you know, break up. I want to plant 3 different things. I want to plant some chestnuts, American persimmon, and some black walnut. I want to put the seed or nut right into the soil in the fall here and see if see how it does. Just sort of experiment to see if the seeds freeze out over the winter or if they'll sprout and grow. So I'm kind of curious. I've talked to a couple of folks that tell me that no, this bed will get completely frozen because it's elevated off the ground and those seeds will freeze and they won't sprout. And then I've seen other videos where guys that have alluded to planting chestnuts right in the dirt in the fall, and that they actually did very well then. The trees germinated and grew very well. So I want to do a little experiment. So I think I'm going to do that. That'll probably be on another little video, but this video just focusing on sort of the construction and filling this thing. The height is great. So far, everything looks like it's holding up real well. I don't see that yeah, you probably can't see it all. This camera does so poorly. The straw is sort of some straw dangling through the wire there, but the wire is not bulging. Really, you can barely tell that the wire is bulging at all. So, construction-wise, I think we're good to go. Get this thing planted, get that roof back on it, and we'll be good for the winter. So I hope I helped you with this one, guys. If you're curious about root pruning beds, click the subscribe button. We'll be doing more with this in the spring, and also I think I'm going to make another quick little video of planting some of them, again, persimmon, chestnuts, and walnuts. So click the subscribe button to see that video too. Till the next time, keep on tinkering.